Hey, welcome to the first full episode of the Hills Have Nerds of 2024. Little inside baseball. It's actually December 4th today we're recording this, but this should go live towards the end of January. Might have gotten a little special extra episode before this one. Hopefully we recorded one. We'll see how that goes with editing. Travis. But this is our first main episode of the Hills Have Nerds of 2024. And we thank everybody who has hung with us through 2023 and is still here now. I'm Josh, one of your hosts, and I'm always joined by
Aaron.
And I'm also joined by, as always,
Cody.
And also joined by, as almost always, sometimes you're out, but you're here now, and that's what matters.
Lee.
Yeah. And today, we're coming to you from inside Kevin Feige's office, where we're all huddled behind a life-size model of MODOK, eagerly trying to eavesdrop and find out who's going to play Ben Grimm's third cousin's barber in the Fantastic Four Arbor Day Disney Plus special. Everyone be quiet. Here they come.
Is that the guy with the watch that can turn into 10 aliens?
Sure, if that's what you want.
You get out of this room right now.
You're not allowed to know.
No, it's not Ben 10.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry.
Do you really not know who Ben Grimm is?
I don't either. It's Space Ghost.
Really? This isn't like just hold on
No.
for a second. No, this isn't just like cutesy podcast stuff.
No.
I don't know who Ben Grimm is.
No, I did.
It's clobbering time.
Yeah.
The Thing.
Thing.
Oh, okay.
Is Ben Grimm?
Yeah,
I do know who Ben
I do
Grimm
know.
is.
Okay, well I didn't know.
I didn't. Till
I just had to make sure.
I had no idea that that's what his name was.
Yeah, I was like The Thing. Now I remember the movie.
Yeah. Oh my dear God in heaven. Oh Lord. Well, anyway, our topic today, and maybe we'll know something of what we're talking about. Our topic today is the death of the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What's brought it about? Can they stop it? Is it even a real thing? And where the hell's our Howard the Duck movie? Hopefully buried deep, deep, deep in the ground somewhere.
Wait, you didn't like the last one?
Dude.
Richard Dreyfuss is the man.
Oh my
You
God.
didn't
Yeah.
like duck boobies?
You know what I like out of my Marvel side characters is tasteful sex scenes with or what was it? It was implied sex between a woman and an anthropomorphic duck.
And a man in a duck suit.
That's you can pay good money for that in Thailand.
Probably.
You probably pay good money for that here. But first, what are we playing? What are we watching? What are we reading? Oh, well, we know what most of us are watching. Anthropomorphic duck sex, apparently.
I think just you, Josh.
I asked about it. Aaron, what are you playing? What are you reading? What are you watching?
Just playing new would be playing Lost in Random on Steam. It's been really good. I've actually really enjoyed it. It's just one that I've seen people said they really like. It's been really good. And I like the art style. It's kind of Tim Burton, like Nightmare on Christmas art style. But the gameplay is you have a dice, you collect cards, and in combat you have to collect a gem to draw cards, and then you roll your dice and it gives you energy to spend on the cards. And they'll give you weapons or give you upgrades, heal you, things like that. And it's been really good. I've actually really enjoyed it so far. I'm like on the 3rd level. So I'm not super far into it.
Anything else?
That's it.
Kind of reminds me of American McGee's Alice.
Yeah.
It almost looks
Yeah.
the part, right?
Yeah.
That's when I first saw it. I was like, wow, that kind of looks like Alice.
Everything is revolved around like dice, and like they actually put game board mechanics later. They have a game piece. So when you roll your dice, the game piece moves, and depending on what square it lands on, it'll do something like summon an enemy, summon a time field that'll slow down enemies. It'll give you a bow. It'll do different things. That's really cool. The main character is a girl named Even, and her sister Odd has been taken away by the Queen, and it's you're trying to go rescue your sister. It's actually really good.
That's cute. Okay.
Lee?
I'm playing World of Warcraft Season of Discovery. because it is amazing. Like
I'm also going to have WoW in my what am I playing? I'm not playing Seasons Discovery.
it's so good.
Tell me about it.
So the idea is it's kind of a reset. It's classic WoW, the original classic server, but it maxes out at level 25. And there's like a raid that was typically like an old, early,
Black Fathom
yeah,
Depths.
like an early easy
Deeps. Black Fathom Deeps.
zone, but now they've turned it into a raid. And there's runes and extra abilities that weren't available in Classic WoW that are now discoverable. And that's the discovery part. And classes are able to play other classes' roles, basically. Like, so we have a mage healer, rogues can tank, warlocks can tank, stuff like that.
I saw the mage healing was like crazy broken.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was like literally trivializing content, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Brad was healing as a mage, and we were destroying stuff, so...
Yeah.
And I've been playing Rondo of Blood. I actually just finished up Symphony of the Night, and I'm trying to complete the platinum for that collection.
Castlevania.
Yes, man. Rondo of Blood. It's been good.
Did you watch the Netflix, the second season?
I am on episode 4, I think.
Of the
I
new-
was watching it again last night. I dropped it and picked it back up. The Nocturne.
Yeah.
I watched
I
the
need to
last
watch
one.
I don't have Netflix right now.
It's
So.
good.
I watched it. It started out kind of weird. I was like, I'm not sure about it, but it really picked up, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm into it.
Are we only talking about what we're playing right now, or are we doing the watching?
Playing, reading, watching, whatever.
I just I had COVID, so I had a lot of time to watch some shows. I finished Gen V. You guys watch The Boys by chance?
Mhm. yeah.
That needs to come up with this podcast, actually. So I watched Gen V, and
I haven't watched Gen V.
I adored it. I think it's as good as The Boys.
Yeah.
So I think
It's got all the characters in from it. Like Homelander makes some appearances
Mhm.
and stuff, right? Yeah.
And it's like when they show up, it's like, oh, that's great. So that, and there's something else I just finished up on Netflix, but maybe it'll come back to me.
Okay.
I've been playing through Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Hey.
It's a beautiful Metroidvania game. Like the art is fantastic, really. And I think I'm close to the end.
Well, that's a sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest, right?
Yeah,
That's
it's the
the
second
one.
one. But I've been having a blast with it. Just kind of exploring around. And I love the movement in it. You can get extra jumps, wall jumps. You can bounce off enemies and off projectiles on enemies. It's really fun to play through.
Invincible. That was the other show I was.
Oh, yeah. Is the second season of that out?
Yep.
Yeah.
4 episodes of it.
my God.
You said Netflix, and remind me, I feel ashamed to forget to mention that I watched the new Scott Pilgrim series.
Oh, I haven't.
Scott Pilgrim takes off, and it was really good.
Awesome. Good.
I loved every second of it. It really confused me because it's very different from the movie and the comics, but it was really good.
Awesome. A lot of superhero stuff. How funny.
Well, the movies I've been watching I've been watching through the Japanese Ring movies.
Oh, nice.
It's a superhero in its own right.
Close enough.
Somebody's.
She basically becomes a god. So,
What?
she's the girl in the ring, the ghost,
What's her say? Sayoko?
Sadako.
Sadako,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's Sadako Yamamura.
Sudoku.
Sudoku.
Sudoku, yeah.
Yeah.
By the end of one of them, like you could, like she gets resurrected, and you can take any person's DNA. Like if you have like a hair of somebody that died and injected into her, she can basically resurrect them within like a day or two. It gets really weird,
And you'd inject that into her,
essentially,
and then she would resurrect the person?
through birth.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, the normal process.
This is the ring, right?
Did
Yeah.
it come out as like a baby?
As they didn't show it, thankfully. It was just
No. Full
Right.
adult human.
well, the only one they done it to was at, like
The
a-
ring
like a
lore has
5 or
taken
6.
a weird turn.
Well, to be fair, that movie was all the movies were based off like books, and that was in the books, but they ended up ignoring that movie because nobody liked it, and then went on. So
That's fair.
but
That's what I thought. I thought the girl from the ring's name was Samara.
that's the American one. They changed your name.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, they
Fair
changed
enough.
your name over
Yeah.
for like an Americanized version.
Okay.
This is Christina.
But yeah, it's
This is Kaylee McKinsley. She's gonna kill you in 7 days.
The Ring Girls.
but like, you know, like
It's a new Monster High.
The Ring Girls.
McKinsley.
and I mean, like any other.
Holler at us, Hasbro. We got you. We're just firing them out. Just
I can
keep
already-
them coming.
I can already see the intro. I'm Michaela. I'm Mackenzie.
Crawling out of your TV.
So is this like a Bratz line? Or...
Yeah, I think it's Monster High.
Yeah.
It's a new monster. Let's throw her in there. She's that
Yeah,
age, right?
okay.
She's going to high school now. You got high school girl problems.
like any, well, most movies after like the second one, they go downhill hardcore. The first couple were good, but after that, I was like, I don't know why I'm still watching this.
She'd go to her parents and be like, I got to get ready for the prom, but I only have 7 days.
And that also depends on which movie you're watching, because the first couple is 7 days. There's one that it's 2 days, and one that's as soon as you watch it, she just kills you.
No, 2 days is homecoming. I mean, as soon as you watch it, that's the.
We have to kill all these people. And prom's tomorrow.
Again, what is it? Is it Hasbro that makes those? That makes the
What?
Brat stalls.
Oh,
Hasbro-
I don't know.
It's Mattel.
It's
It's the whoever doesn't make Barbie makes Brats.
Mattel makes
Or
Barbie, I
the
think.
Monster
Yeah,
High.
Mattel's definitely Barbie.
Mattel's
Mattel's Barbie, yeah. Mattel's Barbie. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up real quick. And this is great podcast, but now I just need to know. Monster High dolls. We bought a ton for my kid.
My sister used to have them. I have no idea.
Oh,
I've been trying to buy some
I have
Monster
no
High
idea.
dolls. Nobody wants to sell
It's Mattel. Why do you need Monster High dolls?
them. So I can sell them back to people in 10 years.
Fair enough.
When they get that expendable income, they're coming back. Just you wait.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was Mattel. Mattel makes Monster High. So Mattel, you got Barbie, but we got Monster High ideas right here. So I'm thinking sponsor the podcast, and we're just going to be tossing this out there. We got a whole line of Samara, Sudoka, whatever.
Sadako. You can
Sadako.
you can include the
Samara, Christy, Kelly, and
Yeah,
and then you can include the Grudge girl, Kayako, and the last one's just like
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Oh, and they could both be going for the lead cheerleader position.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
They're
there's
both
already
trying out for lead cheerleader.
And by
Grudge-
going for the lead cheerleader, they mean killing her.
Well, I mean,
it's just been vacated.
there's already a movie Kayako versus Sadako. So I mean, they already
There
fought.
was a Grudge versus the Ring, wasn't there? Now, what was the premise of that movie? 'Cause you told me over at the house the other day.
I just remember at the end what you said.
Yeah, to be fair, it is not a good movie, but it is a fun watch.
What was the premise? How did they get him to? What was the deal?
The deal was sure. No, the deal was Sadako. Shut up. Sadako will kill
edging out.
anybody that interferes with her curse. So if somebody tries to save the person, or even if you try to kill yourself early, she'll show up and kill you, because nothing's allowed to kill you but her. So their idea was they're going to go into the Grudge house and watch Sadako's film to make the Grudge come out and try to kill you, and Sadako will say, "No, that's mine," and then they'll fight.
And did they fight?
Yes,
Oh, wait a minute, which one comes out of the TV?
Sadako.
That's the Ring.
Okay.
Ring
Okay.
comes out of TV. Grudge comes out of the back of your head.
Okay.
The Grudge, you have to.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, the Grudge, you have to go into that house to be cursed by it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they watched the Ring movie in the Grudge house.
And then at the end, they just kind of fuse together and then explode, and I think everybody died.
Do you think this like Japanese teens do the same stuff we did when we were younger? It was like, oh, what if Freddy fought Jason? Yeah.
Oh,
So then
110%.
This is how this came out.
Oh, absolutely.
Who would have fought Chucky?
Yeah.
Or Jason?
It's like, well, anyway.
All right, so I'm last, and we're near 3 minutes. So for me, what am I playing? What do you want to watch? What I'm watching, which brought up this, is we finished Loki season 2, and I'm not going to say my thoughts on it. And then we finished. We watched The Marvels.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. We watched. We all, me and Lee and Aaron, and then
Not
some members of our
Cody.
family. Nope, Cody didn't go.
No.
He's a loser. He was too busy watching the
The Ring.
Grudge versus the Ring throwdown.
I'm going to go and say one of those two movies is a better movie, and I'm going to let you decide on which one.
Yeah, it's you decide. It's up to you, audience. So we're watching those. We're going to talk about those more when we get into your bulk of today's episode. But I've been playing WoW again. The 10.2. Yeah, just open my veins. As I have done for the last going on 20 years, I'm playing World of Warcraft pretty regularly again. 10.2 has come out, patch 10.2. New set of content. And the Emerald Dream, and I'm not going to describe what everything is, but it was enough to get me back into the game, and it's been absolutely fantastic. If any of you guys pay attention to our Facebook feed, our Facebook page where we post some stuff of what we're doing, what we're into there. I made a post about watching the Race to World First when there was no football, when the Patriots were on a bye week, and so the Race to World First was happening, and then what it is just who can kill the current raid's end game boss the fastest. And there's two main guilds that vie back and forth, and this time it's an American guild, Liquid, and a European guild, Echo, and they usually are the two because they have the most resources and they can take the time off work to actually do it.
Who won?
Echo did. It was tense. Like, it was one of the better races. And normally it's like, okay, one gets out ahead. Like the American guilds, the way the servers work and the way servers come up in time zones, the American guilds usually get like a 10-hour head start or something like that. Sometimes they get a full day. But this year, it was neck and neck, man. Like they were both pulling the boss at the same time. And like Echo had a 1.7% wipe. Boss had 1.7% health left. And then Liquid had like a 2% wipe, or they had like a 5% wipe. And then Echo got a 1.5, and then I think Limit had like a 1.3% wipe, and then it was just whoever could pull off the next pull without, having too many of their DPS die going into it, or without wasting battle reses and stuff like that. Whoever was going to get it got it, and then Echo just pulled off a absolutely flawless pull and got it just before Liquid. Yeah, it was really good. Liquid won last season, so they won 10.1, the Aberrus raid, and then here Amir Drasul, the Dream's Hopes, is the name of the raid. And Echo won this one. They always go back and forth, so it was really good. It was really fun to watch if you like that sort of thing. If you don't, like my wife, it's kind of like watching paint dry. But if you know what you're looking at and you enjoy it, it's a lot of fun. Liquid Max is the name of the raid leader for Liquid. He's like the guild master, raid leader, like guy that runs, because they have like gaming company that sponsors them. They were Limit before, and now they're Liquid, because Liquid's the company that sponsors them, so they just change. And he made a post and he was like, technically we killed it on the 26th, they killed it on the 27th, if you think about time zones, so maybe we killed it first. And he did it completely tongue-in-cheek, was kidding. Like they have a really good relationship, those two guilds, back and forth. But man, some people online took that and ran with it. Like, it was toxic in those comments on X or Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it.
What? A WoW community being toxic?
I mean, just a gaming community, toxic, man. Like, don't love it like WoW's the first toxic community ever.
It's not the only one either.
No, but dude, people were getting in there like, yeah, no, they literally killed it first because that's how time zones work. Maybe you people don't understand how time zones work because you're idiots. They killed it on the 26th. The 26th is before the 27th.
Just saying visceral evil things.
Yeah, just vicious evil
things.
Crap. But Max actually came out and made a nice little comment about it, just kind of condemning like the toxic fans on both sides. There were dudes from like Liquid, because it gets heated. Stuff. I mean, you might know how sports works, right? I mean, it's just as heated as that. These sports rivalries, and they had to turn their chat, because they stream it, and they had to turn their chat and even their streams into like emotes only, because people were just sending vicious, evil crap to each team through their chats. It was awful. Like the opposing team's fanboys would come in and start just spamming this stuff. Yeah,
I guess it was hilarious. It's so funny to a point. You watch it catch fire and you go, "That's burning." And you go, "Somebody should put that out."
Yeah,
I'm
let's
glad
watch
that's
it for
not my
just.
job.
Let's watch it for a minute,
It's like a house fire.
You
You
go
go,
put that out.
"Oh wow, oh,
But
that's
yeah,
not
it's-
good. That's
It's not
not
just
good."
WoW. It's every community has them. It's just,
Oh yeah. Speaking of toxic fanboys, let's talk about the MCU.
spoiler alert.
All right. Yeah. Big spoiler alert. We will be discussing past and potential future MCU movies and TV shows in this episode. There will be massive spoilers for a lot of content, potentially even some comics content. Please be aware going forward, we are not going to take a pause and say spoilers ahead every time we start to talk about something. This is your warning. There are going to be massive spoilers for MCU content ahead in this episode. You've been warned. I love you very much. If you're too stupid to stop listening and you get spoiled, don't get mad at me.
Just think of it as extra
Just be toxic,
information.
it's fine.
Bonus information.
There you go.
And I don't mean you're stupid. Sometimes I don't know what I say. You know how I am.
He said
He loves you anyway.
You know how I am. I'm just passionate. I'm just passionate.
Well, let's
All right.
get into it.
So what is the MCU? What do we mean when we say MCU?
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
When did that start? What does that mean? What is the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Start
It's
with
Marvel's-
Iron Man. That's my understanding.
It's Marvel's universe from the cinema.
Okay.
Kind of started with Iron Man, but they also picked up with
The
Incredible
Actually,
Hulk
Incredible
beforehand
Hulk,
because they
yeah.
pulled
Yeah,
some
the-
stuff from
The
it.
second Hulk movie was technically the first MCU movie.
Technically, though they intentionally started it with Iron Man, I think.
Well, no, they started with Hulk because at the end of the Hulk, they had
That came out after Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man.
was it
Edward
after?
Norton's
Are you
Hulk was
sure?
after. Yes. 110% short. Yes.
Holy smokes.
I was thinking it was before.
Nope.
Yeah, wow.
No, you're thinking Eric Bana's Hulk.
The other one. Yeah.
Maybe.
The one with
Okay.
the dogs and I can't remember. who the
Must
dog
be
was.
Ronald
Oh no, I
Reagan.
was thinking Edward Norton's. Came
No,
out.
that was after
Oh, okay.
RDJ. I think it was 2009. It might have been like later in 2008 or might have been 2010, something like that.
No, I was
But
thinking
it definitely
before.
was. Now, see, my question is Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, the Iron Man. That is like the first, Marvel movie. But with Spider-Man, No Way Home,
Yes.
we get the Sonyverse brought into the MCU with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. So now, did that pull Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man into the MCU? And that was in 2002 because RDJ's was 2008.
Yeah.
Iron Man was 2008. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was 2002.
Sure.
And I get what you're saying. Is it part of the MCU? Yes and no.
Yeah.
It was not part of the MCU, but it is now.
Yeah.
So it was not the start of the MCU. No,
I
Okay.
accept this.
But it is joined.
but it is joined.
It was not the meaningful start. And actually, I mean, Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man was not the meaningful start of the MCU, honestly. Like, they made that movie, let's see how it goes, and then we'll see what we can tie in. Like, The Avengers, that movie, to me, was the start of the MCU. I think that was when Marvel Studios became a thing. Because it was what? Like, Universal had the Hulk,
Yeah.
and then, I can't remember who had Iron Man,
Yeah.
but Universal had the Hulk. Sony and Fox had what, like Thor or Cap, or Paramount had one of them or something.
I have
Fox
no idea.
had
on
X-Men.
it.
Yeah, Fox
Yeah,
had X-Men.
Fox
as well.
had X-Men.
Spider-Man.
Sony had Spider-Man.
Sony had Spider-Man.
Sony had Spider-Man, but it was Universal had one, and then some, like Paramount had one, and then they got through, and then Marvel started kind of buying everything back once the Avengers just blew the doors off of everything. Everybody saw, oh, we can get these big year-long overarching stories where we tie a bunch of stuff together and see the same actors in different movies, and people eat that crap up.
Well, they really wanted to start it with Iron Man, though, because they had the ending cutscene with Nick Fury.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they really wanted to start it then. They were leading up to it. So I feel like that's a good start.
Yeah,
That's the
I mean,
start
that's
for me.
hands down, like chronologically the first, like, quote unquote
Movie.
MCU
Yeah.
movie. But the MCU as a concept, as like a thing that we recognize. You know what I'm saying? Like when it was a functional concept was from the success of the Avengers.
Well, yeah, sure. I'll give it when they started when they combined them all.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, 100%. It's semantics at this
Yeah.
point.
I wonder when that was first used.
The MCU.
You know, when was that term coined?
I don't know. Feel some dead air for a second. I'll run to Google.
Hey, what is that movie with?
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, right?
Yeah.
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Let's pull them in too.
Oh, yeah.
Bring
Just
them
go
in.
ahead and put Dr. Jekyll, Mr.
Oh,
Hyde,
yeah.
Invisible Man.
The Watchmen, was that before this? Well, The Watchmen came out before.
The
Iron Man,
Watchmen was.
Watchmen was when we were in high school.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was before.
Let's pull him
I
into
think
this.
that Watchmen was like
That's DC, right?
3, 4.
DC.
DC,
Dark Horse.
yeah, I think DC owns them now.
Oh, really?
All right, I got it.
Watchmen's DC now.
All right, everybody shut up. I got it.
2009.
Done. No, we did it.
Watchmen was
Did you
actually
like that,
2009.
guys?
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it? Watchmen came out when Iron Man came out? Oh, Iron Man came out before Watchmen?
Before Watchmen.
Really?
Yep.
We're old and we don't remember things well. So, asterisk on this whole episode.
Shut up, Shiny.
The MCU was first, the term Marvel Cinematic Universe was first coined by Kevin Feige. Anybody doesn't know who Kevin Feige is? He's like, the executive producer of everything. Right?
Just
He's like the
about
head of
everything.
Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
He's, the man behind the curtain for all of it.
If you watch She-Hulk, the robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all a bit different from what the public use now. So it was first in 2009 when he was on a set visit to Iron Man 2. So Iron Man 2 started being filmed in 2009 after the success of Iron Man. And that was when but Avengers was already on the docket at that point. So I guess he used it then. So, wow. Okay.
I mean,
So
he had plans for it before the event.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So what does this include? So is it just movies? It's not just movies now, right? Like we've got down to we've got TV shows, we've got cartoons.
It was just movies until Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Disney Plus has introduced series, and they have cartoons and other cartoon animated movies and things, but they have never been part of the MCU. But now Disney Plus is doing these series, the different series that they're doing. WandaVision, Loki, Hawkeye.
Keep naming. See if you can get them all.
Oh gosh, if I can get them all.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Moon Ranger, Space Knight. What's his name?
Moon Knight.
Sailor Saturn, Sailor Moon,
Moon
Sailor
Rider.
Moon.
Sailor
The guy
Saturn.
he fights evil by moonlight and he wins love by daylight. He's never going to run from a real fight. He's the one they call Moon Knight.
Space Ghost.
Yeah,
Space Ghost.
Ben Grimm, Space Ghost.
Moon Knight,
Falcon Winter Soldier.
Falcon Winter Soldier, Miss Marvel,
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian, House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
I
Hocus
guess
Pocus.
Technically, Daredevil and Punisher in them now.
They're not canon. Those aren't canon.
Are they
Those
not?
characters are coming, but
ones-
those shows aren't canon.
I thought
is
they
my-
were. They said
I
they
don't-
were.
I don't
One is
think they
blind.
are. They were initially. So they were originally, but they're being retconned. So when they aired on Netflix, it made reference to the Battle for New York,
Mhm.
Yes.
which was the Avengers 1, the Avengers movie. That was the Battle for New York. So Daredevil made a ton of reference to Battle for New York. But now I think they're like loose. It's loose canon. Like,
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
originally,
I don't think it's hard adhering to the events of those shows.
Originally, it was a weird, yes and no, because the TV shows made the movie canon, but the movies never made the shows canon.
Right.
You had Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you had Carter,
Agent Carter.
Agent Carter,
Yeah.
you had
You
Daredevil.
watched Agent Carter?
They all,
Peggy Carter.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they
Ben
all,
Grimm's wife.
they all,
No.
Big Grimm's third cousin.
they all mentioned the movies, but the movies never made mention of the shows, and
Yeah.
that was part of the whole thing. But now that
I like
since,
Agents.
since Disney Plus, you got to know everything about every show and everything.
So I think now, and somebody listening out there, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm probably wrong, But I think now what the plan is going forward, because Disney Plus is reviving Daredevil with Daredevil Born Again, that should come out sometime this year being 2024. Time magic, podcast magic. That those Netflix shows are no longer canon, but the characters are, and it's like a loose, because we got Kingpin in Hawkeye. Yeah. Kingpin showed up in Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And it was played by Vincent D'Onofrio from the Daredevil show, who did a fantastic job. God, I love him as Kingpin.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
He's so great. Did you watch Hawkeye? It's good. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
I've not watched most of the shows.
But yeah, so we have Vincent D'Onofrio reprise his role as Kingpin there. But I think most, like Jessica, so on Netflix we had Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Punisher, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and The Defenders.
Yeah.
So we had those 6 shows. That's crazy to think. And there were like 2 or 3 seasons of almost each of those.
Yeah. Well, Daredevil had 3, Jessica had 3, and I think
Punisher had 2. Iron Fist had 2. I think Luke Cage only got 1.
No, he got 2.
Did he get 2?
Yeah.
Defenders only got 1.
Defenders only got 1. I didn't watch the second season of Luke Cage.
It's good.
Yep.
I need to watch it.
I like the first season a lot. I like
the one with the Voodoo Man.
Defenders? Yeah.
Never even heard of that one.
You know what the Defenders are. Though. Okay, so the Defenders are street level heroes like Hell's Kitchen. That's Daredevil, Elektra, Luke Cage,
I think I remember
Iron
that from,
Fist.
was that?
I mean, Doctor Strange and She-Hulk were She-Hulk. Kate Bishop. No, She-Hulk were part of the Defenders. I mean, everybody's kind of like, it's like revolving doors, right? Like everybody kind of cycles in and out.
The original Defenders was the whole thing was that Kingpin found out who Daredevil was, and they were a team there to defend Daredevil.
Yeah. So the Defenders were, for the show, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones.
Just like Netflix's Avengers.
Yeah. It's
pretty
much exactly what it was.
Yeah.
But anyway. It was mini Avengers.
So we have right now in the MCU like 50 superheroes and just dozens upon dozens of supported characters going on right now. It's in phases. So we've been through phase 1 ended with the Avengers. Phase 2 ended with Age of Ultron / Ant-Man. Phase 3 was what phase 3 end with? Like phase 3 was like Civil War. Captain America Civil War was kind of the end of phase 3. Phase 4 ended with Far From Home, but that was phase 4 included Infinity War and Endgame, 2 of the best movies ever made. And we just finished phase 5 of the MCU with oh Lord, what ended phase 5? That was Wakanda Forever was the first of phase 6. We're in phase 6 right now, supposedly. These are their phases. So the MCU has these, Marvel Studios have these phases laid out. And each phase contains X amount of movies and TV shows. And it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger because I think now like phase 5 contained like 13 different projects, whereas phase 1 had like 7 or 6 different projects, you know.
So according to a quick search, phase 5 apparently ends with Ironheart.
What's that?
Phase 5 ends with the Ironheart show?
Yeah, with the Ironheart.
Oh, it's a show.
The last movie on here would be Deadpool 3. But yeah, they had the Marvels.
That's not good, is it?
Next is What If Season 2.
That's coming up this year sometime.
Echo, Deadpool 3, Agatha, Daredevil, Captain America, The New World Order, and Ironheart. The last
now,
one.
That's got to be old because they have swapped around release dates.
Okay, so maybe an older.
So there's a Digital Spy article that I linked.
That we'll link in the show notes.
Yeah, that I will link in the show notes. And you'll be able to go to that. And there's a lot of articles that we're dealing with here. So, yeah. So phase 5 just end. Really, please answer the question above to reveal the rest of the article. F it, we're not doing that. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the same one I just looked at.
Oh, okay.
So Wikipedia says phase 5 ended with Avengers Secret Wars.
Okay, so we're still in phase 5. I thought we were going into phase 6. All right, cool. So we're still in phase 5. This is kind of what I wanted to get at with some of this is, like, this is confusing to keep up with, man. Like, it's a whole lot to keep up with. And so it's one of the questions I'm here. Like, do you feel like you have to have a comics background to enjoy these movies? Do you need to know who these characters are? Do you need to know these phases? Do you need to know all this crap that we're sitting here trying to Google and piece together? And it looks like the It's Always Sunny meme with Charlie at the board, like piecing them together. Pepe Sylvia. There is no Pepe. There's no third floor at all.
The money that Marvel's bringing in says no.
Yeah,
you do not.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I know the least here out of this stuff, and I still enjoy the movies.
I don't know. I'm pretty low there too, really.
Because I don't know jack about the shows, but I'm still enjoying the movies quite a bit. I feel like they do enough of a job backing up and give you some background. I know it's exhausting probably for people that are so into it. I have to go back and play through that. Kind of like Batman, we always have to see the dead parents thing.
Yeah.
But it's like I think that they do enough of a job with that to keep people coming back. I mean, it works for me.
Yeah.
They did a good job with Spider-Man, I think, introducing him into MCU. We didn't need to see Uncle Ben die for the third time. Like we get it. Yeah. I think there's three superheroes, in my opinion, that we just don't need their origin story anymore. And that is Spider-Man, Batman, and Superman. Yeah. I know where they come from. I don't need their origin story. We've had going on 4 decades of all three of them. We get it. Like, we know where they came from.
That's as far as like knowledge wise. I know some of them, but I like to know like these little tidbits and stuff. So I do look up videos and stuff. They're like, hey, what do you need to know before you go in?
Oh, that's cool.
So I do a lot of that myself because I enjoy seeing these like.
I did that for the Marvels actually.
So yeah.
That was a good one to do.
Yeah.
Things to know before, and I was like, okay, yeah. It's handy.
That was I think the Marvels is the first movie that had like direct show. Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, it was the first one that had direct show tie-ins. But it had like Marvels has a ton of Disney Plus show tie-ins to it, where you got to get Iman Vellani to Miss Marvel's background, and where did Spectrum come from? She came from WandaVision, all that. Yeah. So, but okay, so how big is the MCU? I got on here. How big has it gotten? How big is it, Aaron? Tell me how big it is.
Avengers Endgame.
It's right here on the table.
858 million. Apparently.
858 grossed 8. No, I think it made like 858 million. Probably it grossed over $1 billion.
Yeah, I think it grossed over $1 billion.
That's what you
wrote. Made 858 million domestically. Yeah, that's what I wrote. I don't know what the hell it means. That's what I wrote.
It's definitely.
I think that's what I put. I put like I think profit. I think it made $858 million profit, or it made that domestically. Avengers Endgame is one of the highest grossing movies of all time. Yeah. And that was the culmination of 10 years of the Infinity Saga. Yeah. Right? When we got to see the throwdown with Thanos and Cap and Thor and Iron Man and CGI Mark Ruffalo.
It's just bad that I really like it. Despite, I like this stuff. Don't get me wrong, I do a lot, but it's like I was like, "Suck it, Titanic." I'm happy to see something like this be the top. Like, it's like we don't need something classy like Titanic or whatever. Yeah. It's like
Avatar.
I don't like that blue.
Dude, you mean Pocahontas or Fern Gully in space? Yeah. That's what I mean. I liked Avatar. Don't get me wrong. Like, don't get me wrong. They're not bad movies.
I don't watch the second one yet, but I did enjoy the first one. Yeah,
that's what I thought. That was my thing. Like, how did this
just
generic nature warrior movie about let's save this planet from the evil corporate overlords? From the Weyland-Yutani stand-in. Like, how did that make that much money?
I have no idea.
And again, don't get me wrong, it's a great movie with a good message. But, I mean, it had to be like, it was one of the first movies in, like, the real 3D, right? Like, it was James Cameron.
And everything was
and it was just huge. It was this big tour de force and massive.
I think people just confused it for Avatar: The Last Airbender when seen it. They're like, "Oh, well, this is pretty good."
That's all right about the ticket.
I see you, Jake Sully. Where's Appa?
If you line up like those top 10 earners or something, it's like one of these things is not like the other, and it's Avatar.
Fast and the one of the Fast and the Furious movies is up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Fast 7.
Wow.
or something is
Good
up
for
there,
them.
or Fast 5, I think, one of them.
That's Tower of the Family, dude.
It's alright, they go to space in one of them.
Nah, it's fun.
Really?
What?
They go up to a satellite in one of them in a car.
I mean, Friday the 13th. Did it. Why
How
not?
fast do you need to
No,
go to get to
Jason
the
X was
sun?
amazing. That was. I mean, honestly, like,
That goes back to the Sadako versus Kayako. That was a bad movie.
no, you shut
but
your
it was a
mouth.
fun watch.
You shut up right now. Jason
was a
X.
bad movie.
Jason
It
X was
a
a
fun
fantastic
watch.
movie.
Fight.
It was
Fight.
no, really, it was
Fight.
good. Okay, listen, it was good for what it was. It was better than
Uh-huh.
Leprechaun in space. Leprechaun. Which one was
Well,
Leprechaun in space?
I
Four.
think it's 4.
Which one's
Or was
better?
that the one
Dog
in the
turds or
hood?
cat turds?
Jason X.
To be fair, Leprechaun in Space is a god awful movie.
You gotta
Jason
take
X
it
is
for
better.
what it is. Take it for what it is. It was fun. It was supposed to be.
We are,
like,
Josh, a bad movie.
it's not bad.
It was a bad movie, but it was a fun watch.
Is it bad? Because it's not going to win the Oscar. You know, it's not going to go out there and win the Oscar for Best Motion Picture. Huh? Those people on Rotten Tomatoes don't know what they're talking about.
Even the audience scores bad.
Audience scores a 25%.
Oh my God, we're losing all credibility
Okay.
to talk about anything.
It is better than
Just
Jason
you.
Takes Manhattan. That was an awful one.
Jason Takes Manhattan was just Jason kind of shows up in the city and wanders around for a little bit and then goes home.
According to critics, it is better than Leprechaun.
It is. I thought it's better than
Yeah.
Leprechaun 4 in space.
I mean, to be fair, there's not much worse than Leprechaun 4.
So both of these, Jason X and Leprechaun 4, not in the MCU. We are digressing. Okay.
yeah, anyway.
So the MCU's, as of right now, most viewed, highest earning movie was Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame was the culmination of the Infinity War saga, where it went from Robert Downey Jr.'s and first stepping on the screen as Iron Man all the way to that famous "I am Iron Man" line and snapping away Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet and
Snapping away
But
himself.
which one was fan favorites? What was the best reviewed one?
Black Panther.
Probably his audience score too. It's
Yeah.
nasty up there.
Yeah, Black Panther was
really
the
good.
yeah.
Other than had a couple of
That
CGI
was
moments,
okay.
it was a little iffy.
You don't agree with that?
Do I not agree that Black Panther's like their best movie? I don't think so. I don't think it's the best one.
Wow, Josh, what do you think is the best movie?
What do I think is the best movie?
What do you think is the best
Jason
MCU?
X.
Jason X, obviously.
The best MCU movie. What's your favorite, I guess?
Captain America: Winter Soldier, I think, is the hands down best MCU movie. Just for writing, I mean, I think Endgame is the best. Like Endgame for fun factor and just the culmination. But I think just in a vacuum, if you took all of the superhero stuff out of it, Captain America: Winter Soldier holds up better than almost any of the
Yeah,
other
it's
ones.
because 90% of it wasn't superhero. The only
That's what I'm saying. It's just a
superhero in it
good
was Captain.
and Black Widow and Winter Soldier and
Black Widow's not a
Zola.
superhero. She's a hero, but she's not a superhero.
she's.
All right, you do what she does.
I said she's a hero, not a superhero.
I mean, she has the Venom suit right now in the comics. So,
well, yeah, but she
probably
gets in the
diabetes, aren't you?
MCU.
and she's had like several different types of mind control. I'm not getting in this argument with you. You're wrong, like
No.
100% wrong. But I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
We're not doing that because I will
And
argue
Falcon
with you
just
for
has
20 minutes.
mechanical wings.
And he speaks to. I'm gonna curse, dude.
To what?
I'm
To
gonna, like,
what?
real
His
curse.
drone?
To a
In the
stabbing.
MCU, Falcon, yeah, he's neutered.
Yes, that's
Right.
what I'm talking about. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but hold
That's
on.
what
now.
I'm
Don't,
talking about.
don't crap on my character. Don't crap on my characters. All right. I don't go around saying Link's just dude that smashes pots and goes wah.
He is.
Like
That's
And
fair.
don't
how do you
even.
know? He goes, hiya, not
And I go, whomp, whomp.
Womp, womp.
Look at me, I'm Link. Whomp, whomp. I'm Link. Hey, listen. Hey, listen.
That's
Stupid.
natty.
I hate what you like. How about that?
Yeah, I think the original Captain Falcon.
Captain
Captain America is the one I like.
I too am a fan
I
of
don't,
Captain
I, don't,
Falcon.
I think Black Panther's better than the Captain America First Avenger. Yeah. Black Panther has a I mean,
I don't think it's a 98% good. It's like a 90% good.
it's good for white dudes can sit around and talk about it.
Yeah.
Share our opinions on Black Panther.
It's good.
It's
It's a good
fantastic, but
It's
yeah,
a good
I
movie.
didn't think it was as good as some people thought. Now, that's not to say that it's a bad movie by any means. I thought
That's what it sounds like.
thought Killmonger was solid. Oh, what's his name?
Claw?
Oh, Andy Serkis. I mean, Andy Serkis is good in whatever he
Oh,
does,
yeah.
but he was
Yeah.
man. That
I
one.
think they kind of neutered Claw in general.
Oh my lord! Why can't I think of his name? He plays Black Panther, and he's just
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman.
Oh.
He is amazing.
Oh,
He's just
yeah.
an incredible actor, and may he rest in peace.
Yeah, that last movie he did.
What
Yeah.
was his last movie he did?
It was like he was. I can't remember the name of it, but he was. It was like set in the 1920s, and he was. You could tell like the cancer was affecting him. He was super thin. He murdered that part, man.
He was a fantastic actor.
He's amazing.
very impressive.
The only qualm I have with Black Panther was that they messed up the CGI in that final fight. Like some of it just didn't look good.
Yeah, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Yeah.
Awesome. God, so good. Yeah, I think it's on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it's so good.
Check it out.
It's a bit of a period piece movie, but still great.
Yeah, I think Captain America: Winter Soldier is the best, just overall. But I'm biased.
I
I'm a
think
Captain
so.
America fanboy. So I mean, what's your favorite, Aaron?
Homecoming.
Homecoming.
Homecoming was my
Spider-Man:
favorite.
Homecoming.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's probably one of the best Spider-Man movies.
Oh, by far.
What about you, Cody?
Probably Homecoming. I really enjoyed it.
What about you, Lee?
It's good.
So first Avenger.
I think
Yeah.
Spider-Man's also like one of the only characters that I actually know anything about. So
It's one of my favorite
I think-
characters. So.
What's the Rotten Tomatoes on Endgame? Because I feel like that's better than
It's not. I think it's just
It's no
below it.
I think it's like 95 or something.
Yeah, I feel like it should be higher than Black Panther.
Lee thinks you're wrong. Lee thinks you're wrong.
No.
No, I'm 100% right on these because I wrote these
Uh-huh.
down from Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
So yeah, 94% for
It's
Endgame.
sure.
I feel like that should be higher than Black Panther.
Think Endgame's better than Black
Yeah,
Panther?
I think so.
I think Endgame has a couple moments in it that it shoehorned in for cinematic value rather than it earned them. And it has a couple significant plot holes that are almost too much to overlook to give it like top dog in the MCU.
Potholes.
The main glaring one is the van just kind of happening to survive everything on the field.
It's bad.
There's a couple
Right.
there's a couple weird cuts of like giant Ant-Man in the background of certain things when he wasn't there before, and it kind of swaps through. It's girl power moment. I'm kind of with the neckbeards on that. It didn't really earn it. While it being cool and it being a great fan moment to see all those
and important socially.
and
It
then
didn't fit the story.
right. It was just hey, here's all our female superheroes because here they are.
Happen to be in
There
the
they
same
are.
spot on a
Right.
giant battlefield.
Yeah. I don't think that like built up for it. It was just kind of here, Peter Parker, we're gonna help you, and it was cool. It was really cool, and I loved seeing it visually, but like just narratively, it didn't. Whatever, but it's cool. Like, and I'm not watching these superhero movies to for Citizen Kane, right? Like, I mean, honestly. So speaking of not watching, so how far has the MCU fallen? Well, this is about the death of the MCU, and all we've done is talk about how great these movies are and which ones are highly rated and the greatest movie of all time. Is it like that now? What's happening now?
I don't feel like it has lived up to before Endgame.
I think that's a hard bar to live up to. I think
Yeah.
if you're expecting that, you got a problem.
Yeah. But I see that you have wrote a worst review movie is Quantumania.
I
And
watched it.
I enjoyed it.
I
I liked it too.
I liked Quantumania, but I have
I
a
get it.
feeling I know why, and I feel like a big part of it was MODOK. Like a lot of people that was some rough CGI. Talking about some rough CGI,
Dude. It was cool to see First off, I don't know who at Marvel, at whatever studio makes Marvel just video content, whoever's making the movies or making the TV shows, who saw MODOK and went, "There's no way we can make this a serious thing. This has to be cartoony. It has to be a joke. It has to be silly. Like, who saw that and said, we got to do that? Because you got that abomination of a show with Patton Oswalt on Hulu for MODOK. That was just absolutely... It was hard to watch, man. There was a show called MODOK on Hulu.
Is it on Hulu?
And it was like... It was on Hulu. And it was like stop motion animation or some type of animation there, or claymation or something. Like that. No, it's recent. It came out in like the last 2 years.
It was like it was during
2-3 years.
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt is the voice of MODOK, and he's got like a family, and he's trying to it's comedy. It's played for comedy. It's got Scientist Supreme.
So I don't know enough about MODOK. Is he supposed to be that goofy?
No, dude. He's like one of the most dangerous villains in Marvel. Like he's.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah,
So.
came out in 2021.
I've seen him so often, like in Nerdom, like around page 3, around the
You know who did MODOK perfect? That friggin' awful Avengers game. The Square Enix Avengers game.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think I'm the only one in this room that played through the narrative of that game. I know you two haven't.
I started it and I got aggravated, not from a story sense, but because I made it about 4 hours in. It was like, okay, now that you're here, go back and do this tutorial of stuff that you already know. You're not allowed to continue until you do.
Oh, yeah.
And it kept shoving that at me. It was like, I hate tutorials. Why are you shoving this at me 6 hours into a game?
But that game did MODOK the absolute best of anything other than the comics. I don't know why he's got to be the butt of all kinds of jokes, because he looks weird, right? And it's hard to... How are you going to take giant head with tiny little arms or mechanized organism designed only for killing?
They did MODOK pretty good in some of the old like 90s cartoon series.
Yeah!
The first time I ever seen him was Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah.
It's the first time I'd ever seen MODOK. And, I mean, you don't really get any kind of story for him there, so... But
dude, I mean, he's vicious, man. Like, he's vicious, he's intelligent, he's cunning, he's devious, he's a leader of AIM, Advanced Idea Mechanics. That's one of the devious evil organizations in Marvel. It's right up there with Hydra and the Hand and all that. It's like AIM is big bads. That's where we got, Scientist Supreme and all that.
So maybe that's why I was able to enjoy that, you think? Because I didn't know they screwed it up so bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I get that they're trying to like have some levity. Like, we don't want it like the DC. You don't want it DC, right? I feel like DC went too dark in some of their stuff, and that's kind of the joke.
But you can there's the opposite. You can go too campy, and I feel like they're going. They realize after Ragnarok, they're really starting to lean more and more into the comedy and campy, and they're really trying to force them.
Like Wakanda Forever didn't.
Some of their comedy also just doesn't land anymore.
Well, they're trying to
force it. A lot of people get like that, right?
What?
Love and Thunder.
Yeah, Love and Thunder. That's another one.
I can go on another rant about Love and Thunder.
I enjoyed the movie. Like, I had fun watching it. We went and seen it. I enjoyed it, but there is a lot of things in it that I feel like once Gore actually came and took the children and went off with them, the movie should have stopped the comedy at that point, because it become a serious problem.
You had one of the darkest, most brooding, just good, well written. I don't know if anybody's read the run with the different Thors coming together with the Gore the Godslayer run. I can't remember if it was Mighty Thor or the Almighty Thor or whatever it was, but it was just absolutely amazing. An amazing run of comics. You read it, right, Aaron? Just incredible writing. They did Gore just fantastically, and I was so excited to see. One, you got Christian Bale.
Yeah.
I think
one of the greatest actors of our.
I think he was.
Gore was fantastic in the movie. I have no qualms with Gore. I have qualms with how they used Gore. How his screen time, the screaming goats, that should have been a one-off and then done, or not even really.
The pitch meeting. Did you watch the pitch meeting for Love and Thunder?
No, I didn't.
He mentions the screaming goats, and he's like, yeah, so screaming goats, you remember those? He's like, yeah, that'll be fun. He's like, good, because if it doesn't land the first time, it won't the next 7. He's like, what?
Did you watch it, Love and Thunder? What'd you think?
I enjoyed it, but it did feel too goofy. I felt it was too goofy to be substantial.
Yeah, 110%, man.
Had they cut it off when Gore attacked New Asgard, cut the comedy right there, it probably would have been a better movie.
I like your idea. Like, it became a serious problem.
They should have dropped the comedy at that point. Like, I mean,
Gives
you,
us a
you
good
could,
thing to be
he's
done.
dark.
you could give us a couple of things just to like lighten the mood. Because I mean, again, you don't want to go too dark, but everyone should have actually picked up and been a little more serious about the problem at that point.
Yeah. I mean, you had I love Natalie Portman as the Mighty Thor. I thought she did really, really good with that. I love Chris Hemsworth,
Yeah.
but I don't think the people in the movie weren't the problem.
No.
It was the script and the tonality of it. When you have Gore the God Slayer as your main antagonist, and you spend 25 minutes with Russell Crowe as Zeus and
That was
and
too
and
much.
his butt crack.
Well, it's like I said, that they
Chris Hemsworth ass crack or whatever it was.
after Ragnarok, they really leaned into the comedy, and it's fine to do comedy, but they really forced some of that, and it fell flat.
Yeah, I guess Ragnarok was great.
No, Ragnarok
Ragnarok
was beautiful.
fantastic.
And then, you're right. I think you just said, well, that seemed to have worked. Let's go on.
Yeah, they're
Let's
just
push it.
they're chasing that success with formulaic similar. And I don't know if it was like Taika Waititi's issue or whatever it was, but
That's
Taika Waititi was the
The
director
director.
for Ragnarok and Love and Thunder.
Isn't he? He didn't want to do something. Am I thinking of it?
Oh yeah, there's that recent thing came out when he didn't know, like when he was approached from the MCU, he was like, he just did it. He did Ragnarok for the money. He was like, I got these kids, they like to eat. Let's
Right.
do that. He didn't know really anything about Thor, and then learned some stuff about Thor and was like, man, I still don't really like this character. I mean, Thor's kind of, he's not the deepest character in the world in the comics, right? But he still has some really good arcs.
I seen somebody make a good point for just the Marvel movies as a whole, as where Kevin Feige is working at the top, like as the executive director, and everything keeps funneling into him, and he's got to split his attention between so many different projects that it would be better for him to hire directors or another set of producers or something to go over certain aspects of it, so that he didn't have to split his attention so hard.
Fair.
And
So-
that might be some.
Stamp. Move
That
on.
might be something that they needed to work on beforehand, and that might be why something like Love and Thunder lets that tonality go through, because I mean it's just not something he caught whenever he was looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I
I
don't know
don't
if
pretend to
that's-
know what the hierarchy there is. I know
Yeah.
there's like a lot of hush hush, like they lock the doors on.
Yeah. I don't
Like
know if
links
that's the
and stuff there,
problem,
but
but that was
yeah.
something that somebody pointed out and said, that is a standard business model, and the only thing we ever see is Kevin at the top. We don't see any kind of
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah, I think that with Thor, man, it really started out. He was getting a nice, good character arc too. Like he had there's some dark stuff in there with his father and all that stuff, and the eyeball and his brother. And I was like, this is good. Ragnarok made it a little goofy, and then it's the thing. He just really kind of killed that character. So next time, if he tries to not be goofy, is he still around?
He was Thor.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So if he
Yeah.
tries to not be goofy,
I think
he
that's
might be
the.
disappointed.
I think that's the plan. Is that they're trying to take a darker tone for the fifth Thor. I mean, I've seen like little rumblings on the internet. You take everything with a grain of salt there, but.
He was getting dark.
But I guess that's also
I mean,
something-
his arc in Endgame was phenomenal. Like
Yeah.
losing
Yeah.
Loki and getting in the go. I went for the head. What did you do? I went for the head.
Yeah.
When he just came in, no bones about it, took out Thanos, and that's amazing.
The
And
talk
then-
with his mother, just going right in the fields. I mean, there's
Oh,
just so
God,
many good
yeah.
things. Man.
yeah.
yeah.
And then it's like, how they kind of pooped on him.
And he was played for jokes, and he was played for jokes. Like I mean, his genuine depression
Yeah.
in Endgame was
The
played
dad
for
bod.
some jokes, but it was.
Still very serious.
I mean, yeah, it was poignant. Like he's lost a lot, and obviously, it's taken a toll on him mentally and physically. Yeah.
Oh
so.
man, that hit hard. Like when he lost so much, he went to the big depression. He got fat, and then when they were back in town with his mom, and he was like summoning the hammer,
Yeah,
and-
he's still worthy.
and he was like, "Yeah, still worthy." I was like, "Feel you, brother."
Oh God, Chris Evans picking up the hammer. Ugh. I cried every time. I cried for at least 20 minutes after the movie. I watched that movie 3 times.
So, do you guys think that Love and Thunder was the worst movie?
No,
So what do you guys think? Worst
has been the
MCU
worst.
movie?
I will go last.
I've not watched enough of them to really give an idea, but the worst thing to me personally has been the ending of She-Hulk. The rest of it's
We're
whatever.
talking movie. We'll talk about shows in a minute.
Movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've not really watched any of them. Like Love and Thunder would be the worst one that I have watched because I've watched so few.
Okay.
Captain Marvel, is that the name of the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, so again, confusion. It's like, as a person, I'm like, because there's Marvels.
The Marvels is the second Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah.
What was the show called?
Miss
The
Marvel.
show was Miss Marvel.
I think it's not like it.
Son, pick up a comic book.
Well, Miss Marvel's a different character.
Is she?
Miss
Yeah.
Marvel's a different character than Captain Marvel.
That's
Iman Vellani, the one with the
that's Miss
fist,
Marvel?
that's Miss Marvel.
Oh,
She
okay.
her whole thing is she loves Captain Marvel, like
Marvel.
she idolizes her, and so she named herself Miss
Miss
Marvel.
Marvel. That's
Okay,
why
so
she-
Miss Marvel was about her.
Yeah.
That's why she was like, I'm Miss Marvel.
Right.
Twinsies.
Hopefully it's okay. I don't want copyright stuff.
So
She's amazing. Iman Vellani, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're incredible.
Captain
The series
Marvel
was
She's
Okay.
writing some of the comic books now.
Oh,
Some of
really?
the Miss Marvel comic books.
That's awesome.
So Captain Marvel, you think is your
Yeah,
your
I
worst?
actually don't know that I finished it.
Really? I think
And
it's okay.
I just watched it and I was like, I get it. Okay. So
I also just don't like that type of character, and
Women,
not
strong women.
yeah. No, but it leans back into Superman. He is my least
Mary-
favorite.
She was a Mary Sue
Sue.
in
yeah,
Captain
Superman
Marvel,
is my
100%.
least favorite superhero of all time.
She was a Mary Sue in Endgame, and I think that was a problem for me. Like she came in,
And-
blew up the thing, took a punch from Thanos. Like she was never weak in Endgame.
Yeah.
Like at any point did she show any type of, I don't know, frailty?
She wasn't in her movie either. That was like, I mean,
Yeah. That was kind of the point of Captain Marvel, was her figuring that out and finding out I am not, subservient to this. I am above this. Like that. The whole point was that, Gwen Stefani
It's like-
song thing.
I get that, and that's why I'm okay with the Captain Marvel movie, but I've just never liked the character that was that powerful.
Yeah.
Like it makes it makes it extremely hard to write a good story around them usually.
I think she had more character growth in the Marvels than she did in Captain Marvel.
she did.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was
They
like,
gave
this
her-
makes her interesting to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they gave her a weakness with the other characters and her powers going haywire. They gave her a weakness. And
See,
it
I
was
may like
nice.
that better. I've just not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was like strong woman.
Yeah. And she was learning that she didn't have to do it alone.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of character growth with that too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was great.
My least favorite Marvel movie, the one that I think was the worst, was I had it in my head and I completely lost it now. What was yours, Aaron? What'd yours say?
mine would actually probably be Thor 2. The second Thor,
Dark World.
Dark World.
I've never watched it.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it.
Wasn't great.
it's not great, but
No.
I've not watched it either.
yeah, it's not wonderful.
People tell me they were like, skip it, don't worry about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's one of the few movies I haven't watched. So.
The only impact it had is they killed Logan the first time, and that didn't really have an impact because he wasn't
They
dead.
didn't stick.
Yes.
Was Anthony Hopkins in that one?
Yes.
I'd watch him poop in a box. Like, I love that man.
Dark World was overly brooding.
Yeah.
And the first Thor movie, the first Thor movie and Dark World are probably the two weakest in the MCU. Now, I get Quantumania, I guess, is its worst reviewed on Rotten Tomatoes, but the first two Thors are so much worse than Quantumania.
I think first was a little boring.
It is. And he's got he bleached his eyebrows for some reason. He's got the blonde eyebrows.
Yeah.
He just looks terrifying. But it had the Destroyer's a cool villain, so I was excited.
Like
It's
he
cool
can't
to
be
see
in the sun
Destroyer.
very long. Sort of bleached
like,
eyebrows.
he bleached his eyebrows for some reason. But I disagree with the takes on Captain Marvel. I think Captain Marvel's whole point was that she didn't realize the strength she had, and once she realized that, like that was the showdown with Jan Rog there at the end, kind of played homage to that. Was like when she knocks him down, and he's like, "All right, now you figured it out. Now fight me without the powers, and let's see where you come from." And she's like, "No, F you!" Just blows him away with it because she sees, okay, I'm not I have this in me. I've unlocked this potential because she was, she wasn't that powerful until the last 15 minutes of the movie. Like, it wasn't like she went the entire movie being so powerful she was destroying everything.
She built a space phone out of a telephone booth.
They're fucking aliens. What are you? I don't know. They have
I've never
universal
seen
translators.
any other character make a space phone. She was just like, here, yep, call me anytime. It's
I don't know. Nick Fury has a beeper that beeped to her. I mean,
yeah.
You got to have a little bit of suspension of disbelief for this.
I give a
stuff.
pass on certain things. So.
But I feel like she never had struggled.
I mean, I get the argument. I don't think it's wrong. I just disagree with it from my.
I mean, that's why I'm saying that Love and Thunder is probably my least favorite, because there at least was a story for Captain Marvel, like an evolution of the character. It's just, I just don't like that.
110%.
The
Marvels is better.
I just don't like that powerful of the character.
I'm not saying Captain Marvel was just a terrible movie.
Yeah.
It was
you hate women. And
yeah, I just hate women in general now. I just 79 and 45.
Yeah.
Wow. Audience score of 45.
I wonder how much that could be some incels. I mean, to be honest.
Dude, when a movie
was not that bad.
has negative reviews before it comes out, you're a piece of crap.
Yeah.
Like 110%. Like, it just.
I feel like that's fair from what I watched of it.
Yeah, 79.
Sure.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, the 45
People
is absolutely wrong.
People get mad at Brie Larson because she's outspoken and kind of liberal, and saying and these dudes on the internet get pissed off.
Brie Larson. I thought she's a fantastic job.
She's an amazing actress.
That's my only point. The only thing I didn't like about the movie was just how Mary Sue she was.
The script wasn't strong.
She never struggled.
The script wasn't.
It was a fine watch. It was just she never struggled.
Yeah, and that's
that 82% audience score. Wow.
Yeah,
for the Marvels. Yeah.
That's interesting.
The
I typically
Marvels
don't like critics' scores anyway. So
the Marvels, this most recent Marvel outing, is not in any shape, form, or fashion deserved of the panning it's getting.
Oh no,
in
I agree.
No shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah. I enjoyed the movie.
I actually expected it to be more about 70 than a 61.
Wow.
I'm usually pretty good about scores on Rotten
I
Tomatoes.
was worried about Teyonah Parris being Spectrum because I did not like her in WandaVision. I didn't think she was a good actress. I hadn't seen her in anything else, admittedly, but I didn't think she was good in WandaVision. But she was kind of phoning some stuff in, or like felt out of place. I don't know. I just didn't think she was great. I don't like who played Jimmy Woo either. I don't think he's a good actor. I can't remember his name. He was on like Saturday Night Live or Mad TV or something.
I didn't watch WandaVision.
But
he was on Ant-Man. He was the
Jimmy Woo. Whoever plays Jimmy Woo, I can't remember.
The second Ant-Man.
I just thought Teyonah Parris. I was worried about seeing Teyonah Parris. If Mom Villani, I was not worried about it at all. Miss Marvel's a fantastic show. She was incredible. She hoisted everything on her back and carried it. Amazing. The supporting cast in Miss Marvel is amazing. They're great. And you can tell she's passionate about what she's doing too. Like, she loves the source material. She grew up liking Miss Marvel. She's writing for the comics now. That's just rags to riches Marvel fame. Randall Park. I'm not a fan of Randall Park. I don't think he's a good actor. But I was worried about Teyonah Parris, and then she blew me away in the Marvels. I thought she was great. She was when she actually got to breathe and had a larger budget and was going alongside Brie Larson and Mom Villani. They were great.
What was the worst movie you said?
I don't think I said, because I'm trying to think. I mean,
so Thor.
I don't know. I don't know that I can. Like the worst Marvel movie.
And again, that's my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all of
Strong.
it.
Thor. I mean, the first Thor's up there. The one I'm just going to go with the one I liked the least, that I had the least fun watching, and that was Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Really? Huh.
I had to say I thought Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was pretty weak.
Yeah.
Is it the worst one? No, but I thought it was. I enjoyed the movie, but I still thought it was weak, especially right after Homecoming. In my opinion,
No Way Home.
I was
now when you said your favorite movie ever for Spider-Man, did you mean
No Way
Home?
I mean No Way Home.
Okay, so you meant the one with all the Spider-Man, not the first Spider-Man.
Not the first one. I said Homecoming.
You said Homecoming.
No Way Home was the one I meant.
That's up there with Endgame for me.
Yeah.
It's like I had to say
No
Homecoming
Way
because I've not
Home.
watched the other two Spider-Man movies.
Oh, I did say Homecoming. But yeah, No Way Home was what I meant
Wait,
to
you
say.
haven't watched Homecoming and Far From Home, or you haven't watched Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man?
I've not watched Homecoming and Far From Home.
Or
They're
Amazing
good.
Spider-Man.
Dude, Michael
Yeah,
Keaton
or
is
Amazing Spider-Man.
Vulture. Adrian Toomes.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, no,
Oh,
I
it's
watched,
so
I
good.
watched Homecoming. I've not watched Far From Home and No
Far
Way
From
Home.
Home and No Way Home.
As far as arcs go, I think Spider-Man might be my favorite of the arcs.
Oh yeah.
Super
So
Oh
strong.
yeah,
good
Tom
arc.
Holland's so
But I
good.
mean, the Avengers arc, I mean, that's kind of hard to argue because I mean, like the first Avengers, Infinity War, and whatever was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so here next. So we've talked about what we felt was the best and what we liked and all this stuff and what we felt was the worst. So about the movies or the TV shows, Cody. You mentioned you didn't like the She-Hulk ending.
Just the ending specifically, really, and
Yeah.
that's I don't like that she jumped out and went into the writer's room, and like I understand the fourth wall breaking stuff, and like that's fine to an extent, but whenever you put her into a situation and she jumps out and forces a rewrite of the story, it trivializes everything from there on that she's in.
But she was asleep.
I don't like that as a story
Sets a
changing
precedent.
I don't like that as a story changing aspect
Yeah.
of anything.
I feel the same way. I feel like nothing got
It's
solved.
actually just better.
Really.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree with Lee.
they
That
just
is
rewrote
bad
everything.
writing.
Yeah. They just
Like,
rewrote everything.
They
and
wrote
nothing got
themselves into a
solved.
corner like, well, we don't know what to do with this, so it didn't happen.
But
Sorry.
I like the show up until then.
I'm gonna disagree.
Well, you can be wrong, I guess.
I don't think I'm wrong.
It's your
I don't
turn.
think you're wrong. She-Hulk is. I mean, Captain America. Or it's Captain America and Winter Soldier now, but it was Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's my favorite, just because I love
Why?
the character.
Why would it
I
ever
mean,
be your favorite?
obviously, it's
Why?
my favorite. And I think Sebastian Stan and Anthony. Oh my God, why can't I not think of Falcon's name?
Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie. I was about to say Anthony Kiedis, but that's the lead singer for Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I was saying Anthony Hopkins.
Is he giving it away now?
Yeah. They gave it away to Shield. Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie are amazing. They just have great chemistry. I wasn't a fan of the power broker swing with Sharon Carter being the power broker. But with the gender bending, I get that it's a hot topic. There's some people that just say, "Oh, keep everything exactly the way it is. It doesn't need to be anything different. It needs to be exactly like the comics, so on and so forth. We want just absolute purists when we come in. Don't gender bend, don't race bend, nothing." I get that. And I'm not one of those people. I try not to be one of those people because I try to be pretty open with coming into this because the MCU is a Marvel universe, but it's its own separate Marvel universe from the 616. 616 is the main, like, the sacred timeline for the comics. That's the 616. The MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is a separate universe to that, but it is a canonical.
Until the last Secret Wars, and then it's
all over.
Yeah, it's all over the place now.
But the gender bending of Carl Morgenstern in Captain America and Falcon and the Winter Soldier for Carly Morgenstern almost took me completely out of it. And not necessarily the gender bending of it, that it was a young girl playing Flag Smasher who was supposed to be this big hulking, like omnipresent terror, big hulking present terrorist. It was, they had this super soldier serum and they kind of like hand waved it away when they were in that the scene with the guy that made the new super soldier serum or like reverse engineered it, and he said it didn't have any of the side effects of the bulky muscles or the problems with making the muscles. It just enhanced them. So that's how they played away getting big buff people to play. But it's just hard watching it on screen and seeing this 90-pound woman playing Flag Smasher, which the Flag Smashers is what they call the organization. In the comic run, there is just a person, Carl Morgenstern, who is Flag Smasher. And Captain America has some of his best lines with Flag Smasher and John Walker throughout that run there. which Anthony Mackie gets a couple of those as Falcon. There's a scene when he's talking to Flag Smash, he's talking to Carly, and he's like, "Listen, I agree with where you're coming from. I just don't agree with the means to which you're going." He's like, "I get your point. Like you're arguing for people to be taken care of, for less borders, for people to get their have homes, people to be displayed. Like I get that, and I support you, but
you're going
I don't agree with your means." And that's a Steve Rogers line from the comics when he's talking to Carl Morgenstern, and that was amazing for me to see that brought to life. Yeah, but I didn't like the choice to gender bend Carl Morgenstern, make him call me a Captain America purist, whatever. I didn't care much for that. But the She-Hulk thing, I thought She-Hulk was like the best Marvel show. Like, and it was a breath of fresh air, man. It didn't take itself seriously. It was funny. It had different formula to it. Like,
again, I liked the show until that last bit.
She does that in the comics though. Like, she has one-on-one talks with the writers. She-Hulk broke the fourth wall before Deadpool. For those of you out there,
the breaking the fourth wall is not my issue.
The thing she did in that show, she has done in the comics. It's not different to the character. Well, I get that, but
I'm not saying.
I just don't think that's a good writing.
Yeah,
I just don't think that's good writing for me.
Okay,
so I wouldn't like it when she done it in a comic either.
Yeah,
I
can see that.
I also don't really care when Deadpool does it either. Like if they change the story, it's poor writing because it's almost like
it's like throwing a vein in the middle of in game,
right?
Yeah,
because it's like it's what Deus Ex Machina. It's God in the machine. You take something, you completely change it by just saying, okay, this is what it is now.
Yeah, I just don't care for that as a writing mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care who does it.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
wrong.
I mean, that's
Aristotle's Poetics, man. That's how he says it has to be substantial, and if it's not, that's the problem. I was actually surprised to see this got a 71%.
What did
She-Hulk? Because I was like, well, why does it have a
critic
70
score? Audience score was.
I was like, why is the critic score that high if they do that? Because that's like a big no-no.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's consistent, like you're saying, then that makes sense.
She breaks the fourth wall consistently,
Yeah.
but never to that extent.
Yeah, that's one thing.
That's probably
like
what hurt
Deadpool, Shield. I don't mind them breaking the fourth wall, but when you go out and just change the story and solve nothing, that's what, like I said,
I
that's
think
what bothers me.
I think you're looking for too much from that scene. Like, I really do. I think you're looking for too much from She-Hulk because She-Hulk is just such a fundamentally different show from all the other stuff we got from Disney Plus that is meant to be, oh, well, she just changed it, everything's okay now. Like that's the point.
Yeah.
Like, I get that you don't like that, but I think that is the point of that. Like, the point isn't that this is to solve the problem. The point was her going out and going, this is convoluted. The entire MCU is convoluted. It's just it was a vehicle for the MCU to poke fun at itself. And that was the whole point of it. No more substantial than that. And to introduce She-Hulk and, let her give Daredevil some snoo-snoo.
I didn't like it, and I think anybody who likes it is stupid.
It can be the point.
The MCU. This MCU's a problem.
I feel like there was a better way to poke fun at themselves than to trivialize a story.
Are we ever going to have a superhero that doesn't have daddy issues, or whatever she said? Right, Iron Man's got daddy issues. And when are we getting the X-Men? I loved it. That was amazing.
MCU, is it dying?
I don't think it's as strong as ever. I don't know that I necessarily think that it's dying.
Definitely not as strong
It's
as
definitely struggling to a point.
Maybe it is dying. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think it's really dying, but I think it is struggling.
I mean, the Marvels is panning out to be like, what are the current numbers for the Marvels? Because when I wrote this stuff like a couple weeks ago,
I think they finally got like a closing number, and it did not do well.
Yeah.
An 80 million at the domestic box office as of today. It's the only MCU film to fail to cross the 100 million mark, falling more than 50 million behind the 134 million grossed by the domestic box office's second worst performer, The Incredible Hulk. That was the Edward Norton Incredible Hulk. It was the second worst. And Marvel's did, and
that is not a good indicator. Financially speaking.
Financially speaking, no, but I would say The Marvels was probably a better movie than The Incredible Hulk.
Oh, dude, by leaps and bounds. Tim Roth was really good. Tim Roth was amazing in She-Hulk.
Tim Roth done everything.
He's so good.
Yeah.
That's The Incredible Hulk wasn't a bad movie. Wasn't a great movie, but it wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it more than the other one.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that
that
wasn't
Hulk
saying
with
much
Eric,
either.
Eric Bana. Misery.
Yeah.
That was that.
But that's I don't they fluctuate, and I think quality has like I said after Endgame, quality definitely is not as good. But it fluctuates. They have some good ones, they have some bad ones. They have some good ones.
Yeah, I think maybe the fluctuation is
Yeah.
stronger now than it had been before.
Yeah.
Before
But
it was just like a rocket ship to success.
Yeah.
Now it's like, woo.
I don't think it is. I think we're looking at everything through the lenses of
Nostalgia.
Infinity War and Endgame. We've literally sat here and said Thor and Thor 2 weren't great. Incredible Hulk wasn't great.
Right.
You know, those were some of the first movies. They were down low, right? And it's kind of went in these ebbs and flows. We said Captain Marvel wasn't the best in the world. Like that one came out after Infinity War, right? Like and Infinity War was one of the best ones. And then like Age of Ultron got kind of panned, but I think Age of Ultron is one of my favorite.
I like Age of
Love
Ultron.
Ultron.
ever. Like
Yeah.
dude, James Spader's Ultron. Oh Lord, he's my Ultron until I die.
Oh, absolutely.
Like so incredible.
I loved Ultron and that.
I think expectations are just dumb.
Not to say that there wasn't bad movies in earlier stuff, but I feel like it's fluctuated more. Like I said, there's some really good ones.
There's been more
and then there's-
movies too.
Yeah,
This
maybe
is-
that's part of it.
this is bad.
They can't all be bangers, but
I know Brittany talks about she after Love and Thunder. She was just like, I think I'm just superheroed out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the fatigue. It's
So
Yeah.
superhero fatigue is a thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll preface this with
I'm
this.
I would say.
I didn't grow up reading comics. I watched like the Batman animated series, and I mean that was about it. I didn't do superheroes before.
You just thought, there's no way one guy could do this. I don't buy it.
Well, no, it's just I just never got
Completely
into it.
unrealistic.
Like I just never got into it. So I mean, superhero fatigue. After I've watched so many of them, I don't care anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care for watching the
I
other.
think you are a good cross section of
And
just normal
yeah.
Yeah, and I th-
everyday audience viewer, whereas
and I
I'm
think-
like the rabid fanboy.
And I think the problem is mainly for them right now is they're losing the pull for their casual audience.
Yeah.
And I wanted to
we have to
liken it.
know a lot.
Yeah, I was liking it to a fighting game that was, I think it was Guilty Gear. They made the game so complicated that the only people that knew how to play it was their competitive players. The game struggled to sell, and the next one they released, it was like, look, guys, we got to dumb it down a little bit. We're losing money on these. And I think that's part of like the MCU's problem is where they started out going like, okay, here's an Iron Man movie, here's a Thor movie, here's a Captain America movie. There was no
And
cross intersection or
yeah.
anything.
You had the individual movies, and then they were like, boom, here's all of them together as Avengers.
And it
Individual
kind of
movies.
made me
another
interested in
Avengers.
trying to
Well,
watch them.
I
But
think
then,
that's the plan, right?
and then there's also for like me, like I said, I was watching the Ring movies. I mean, this took me 7 months to watch 6 movies. And then they sit here and they drop 4 seasons. It's got like 6 hours worth of content per season with these movies dropping in between them. It's like, that's going to take me like 4 years to try to watch that.
Yeah.
Like, it got so overwhelming that honestly, I just don't care anymore.
Well, for the Marvels, to understand what's going on in the Marvels, just the Marvels alone, to not necessarily to understand what's going on. That's one of the questions here is we have like, has the MCU broadened itself away from a casual audience? Like, has it become too meta, too self-referential?
I feel like it has.
But for just the Marvels as an example, you need to watch.
One
If you
Division.
want to know everything, you need to watch Age of Ultron
Yep.
to know where Wanda came from. WandaVision to know where Spectrum got her powers. Infinity War or Endgame. Captain Marvel. Guardians of the Galaxy. The first Guardians of the Galaxy to know where the universal weapon came from that Dar-Benn uses.
Yeah.
Which I talking about gender bending. I thought what's her name that played Dar-Benn? Is that Rosario Dawson? That's not who it was. It's Tom Hiddleston's wife or girlfriend.
Mhm.
I thought she did fantastic as Dar-Benn. I thought she was great.
I had no idea that was even a gender bent character.
Hey,
You don't know?
That's a gender bent character. It's a dude now.
Well, now I'm
he's
mad.
a Cree fanatic.
Now I'm mad.
Well, I gotta keep making them. No, Dar-Benn was fine. So you got to watch those. You need to watch WandaVision, like we said. Marvel, the first Guardians of the Galaxy, Endgame, Miss Marvel. There's like 7 or 8 things
He's
that you
going
need to
back-
watch.
Did you
have to
I
get-
am.
Do you have to get like Doctor Strange 2 or like Loki or any
No.
of that?
No. Miss
You
Marvel.
don't need any of that.
And Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Okay,
That's like 7 things. If you want to know the backstories of those characters, that's what you need to watch.
Now-
And 2 of those are 6 to 8 episode series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, you don't have to watch those to have fun with the movie.
Yeah.
No, you can still enjoy the movie
Because
without watching them. But if you want to know all this background and information, like where these come from, then that's what you need to know.
Because I mean,
I love it.
I've watched some of the
I love it.
I watched some of the newer movies before watching any of the others. Like I still had fun with the movie.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think we're probably on the same page here. Like, I do believe there is some superhero fatigue taking place.
Mhm.
There is.
100%.
And it is. I think you're right. It's like you're kind of alienating a smaller group. Because I'm like, I mean, I'm that way with Star Wars now. It's like there's just
Yeah.
too much garbage out, dude. I'm like, I don't have time to watch all of the Mandalorian, all of
Yeah.
the back.
There's none of the
And then-
Mandalorian that's been garbage.
and then
Well, I think
I'll
it's
be
just
honest
like
with you.
just not
Yeah.
quality.
We're trying to
sense,
say,
and
like,
so
like
much
quality.
quantity.
There's
and
two.
then
Yeah.
Ahsoka, and then
In the
Yeah, it can be
comics,
the
I haven't
greatest
watched.
thing
I haven't
ever.
watched
Just-
any of Ahsoka. I haven't watched the 3rd season of The Witcher. There is just a lot going on for nerdom.
no.
But I mean, it's a good time
I
to be a
kind
nerd.
of
Yeah.
bowed out of The Witcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made
I
my
would say
halfway
the
through
season's
that
pretty good.
season.
I haven't watched the 3rd season.
I'm halfway
They
through now.
started changing everything
Is
from
it
the
good?
books, and no.
It's alright.
But I think
No.
that's part of the MCU is like why they interweave all these is they also want you to pay for the subscription for Disney Plus,
Oh, yeah.
and I think that's
It's money,
part
man.
of why they interweave it.
And then,
Got the
yeah,
Benjamins.
I get that, but
I'm
it's
okay
also-
with that.
They've
There's nothing
released
wrong with it.
so much stuff, and I don't have time to watch it. That it's like I don't
Yeah.
care if I watch any of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've kind of. I mean, I'm probably a
They
minority.
made too much. I
in
don't
this.
want it anymore.
I'm probably a minority in this because I mean, I would rather watch smaller.
It's not new. It's not the new hotness.
I would
right?
rather watch smaller incremental stories that I get the whole thing in one little bit, so that I'm not sitting here going across like 7-8 months worth of content trying to get a full story.
Right.
You
I
want
can just get
self-contained movies.
Yeah.
See,
essentially.
I like the big arcing narrative. I just think that the narrative right now is taking too long to tie together. We have, in the phase we're in, has like 14 movies and TV shows in it, whereas like phase 1 had like 6.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's a lot to try to take, and there's so much they're trying to introduce. Like Moon Knight. What did Moon Knight tie into? From any of this, what strings did Moon Knight have? Like,
I don't know.
I
but
think there
enjoyed the
might have
series.
been. I think there might have been like one little Easter egg on a box somewhere that referenced like Latveria or something. But you gotta like anybody know? Does anybody, Lee? Do you know where Latveria is and what Latveria, the significance of Latveria is?
Mm-mm.
That's where Doctor Doom lives.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So if like it's one little Easter egg just on there for a second, or it's like Von Doom or Von Doom.
So
It might
Moon
not
Knight
even
is
actually
still
happen there.
Dr. Doom?
No, nothing. It's just a little like, hey, you like Marvel comics? We do too. Here's something on there. That's like
See,
the.
I liked Moon Knight, but it was a self-contained story. I didn't need anything else to go with it.
I liked Moon Knight too.
But I think that's what I was telling Cody. I think they need a lore disconnect because it's just gone so far back that you have to know all of this stuff.
It's comics, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, it's the
that's
same
how-
with the comics.
Yeah.
That's why I don't read comics because
That's
it's
why I
like
love it.
Another reboot.
No,
reboot.
I
Another
love it.
reboot.
as much as I've sat here and dogged a lot of it, I will actually argue against a reboot because I think that would be a terrible idea for them right now.
No. I just that's comics.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
would
they
just-
do. They build up so much lore and they're like, oh no, reset it.
I think the TV shows are fine. I think the amount of TV that you're putting out is okay. People can watch it or they can't. Whatever. You got it's a subscription service. You're paying for it anyway. You're paying for it because you like what's on that channel, and then you get it if you get it.
Yeah.
But I think the movies need to like tone back.
Yep.
There needs to be less movies. Because
That's it.
we
I guess-
gotta.
I'm actually the opposite. I'd like to see less show, more movie.
Yeah.
I guess
I'm-
They did that with Armor Wars. So Armor Wars was originally going to be a show, and now they're turning that into a movie.
Right, and same
Um,
thing's just time. The amount of time I have to
I
invest
just
to
don't have
understand.
time to invest into that much stuff. But
No.
I mean, also for me, tonality. Daredevil was like my favorite of all of them. Like I like it better than any of the movies.
From like the
The
Netflix,
Netflix
Daredevil.
Daredevil, I was
Don't
Yeah.
watch
I
it.
love
It's
that
incredible.
series.
It was good. It was a little broody, I thought.
I guess that's just the difference.
Wasn't Thor in Love and Thunder?
No.
It wasn't Love and
It was
Thunder.
good. I really enjoyed the Daredevil series. I thought it was. Really
I didn't say it was bad. It was good.
There was
I liked
enough
it.
comedy and stuff weaved in it, like just intermittently. Like, I mean, there was some episodes that had none.
But I also enjoyed Jessica Jones and
Yeah, Jessica Jones was fantastic.
I also
David
really
Tennant's
enjoyed-
Purple Man was incredible. I'm like,
I really
her-
enjoyed The
I
Punisher.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
John
Barenthal's-
Pilgrim in that second season.
John
was-
Barenthal.
The Pilgrim.
Oh, the Pilgrim. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they called him John Pilgrim, but I think
Yeah.
that
Yeah, I
was
know.
just
I'm
Pilgrim.
sorry. I thought you were talking about.
But
Yeah, playing Frank
the
Castle.
Punisher.
he was fantastic in that second season.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I watched the second season of The Punisher.
They had
Yes,
they had a scene where Pilgrim is in a bar fight, or goes to meet like his old gang, and they're talking to him about something, and about him leaving with money or disappearing with it, and they stand up, and I mean he knows he's about to get in a fight with them, and he stands up and starts rolling his sleeves up, and he said, "May God grant mercy or forgiveness or whatever," and the leader of the gang says, "There's no mercy here for you, John." He's like, "I wasn't talking about you." Rolling his sleeves up and saying, "Oh, okay." And then it's like cut in between him sitting in his hotel, like pulling the teeth out of his head, and then it cut back to where he headbutted the guy so hard he knocked his teeth out.
What do you got?
Maybe we should talk about where we stand on this. What do we think?
I don't think it's strong as ever. So the cumulative thing here is where you end up, and we had a little Reddit post we were going to go into. We're not gonna worry about it. But is it dead? Is it dying? Is it strong as ever, or is it just, is it okay? Is it where it is? Anybody want to go first on their final thoughts?
To me, it is struggling. It is not hit dying. It is not dead, but they have a strong chance to go to dying.
I'm on board with Cody. It's like I said, I feel like it's weaker than it used to be, but it's not dead. It has ups and it has downs.
I think they have just as good chance to go back to being as good as they were. It's
Really?
I think they do, but they need to. I think they need to work on a few things.
I don't think it'll ever die.
No,
I mean, it's just we got Josh. Like, we have people that are really into this, right? So I mean, like, there's enough of a hardcore group to keep movies pumping out at $200-400 million.
You think, and then the Marvels makes $80 million,
right?
so
That's what it's like.
But then again, like the Marvels got so much hate online before it ever came out.
For no reason.
Like,
really.
If you have a genuine qualm with the thing after you've watched it, that's fine. That is completely valid. But to get online and pan something as going to be awful without ever watching it, you fucking suck.
You are the internet.
Like, you are a problem. Huh? There's my one. Like, that tears me up, dude.
Oh, I get
People
it.
getting online
I
and being like,
agree.
"Oh, this is gonna suck. This is awful. This is so bad. Don't go watch it." And then like leaving reviews and about that.
I mean,
Yeah.
Like, shut up and don't watch it, you friggin' man child.
I mean, I agree. Like, I'm actually glad that people still like the movies. It's just not for me.
Yeah. I fully believe in trying first and review later. I hate the idea of of anything.
Yeah.
Not even just movies, but anything. Just being like, well, that's dumb because I heard
It's
that
not
all-
even a Marvel thing. It's just a cultural thing.
Yeah.
That's why I don't
Yeah.
really care for reviews or like critic stuff anymore, because a lot of them.
I think you can't help but let it affect you if you do read it to some extent.
To some extent, but then there was a thing. I mean, this applies more to video games than movies, really. But they had a thing where everybody has to get their review out first, so they don't even think about anything. They just first initial thought, go down, type it, write it, whatever. They may not have even finished watching the movie.
Yeah,
they may
draw-
not have finished
Draw
playing
first
the game.
blood, man. You just gotta draw first
They
blood.
got to get that out there, and I'm like, that's not a good representation of anything. So none of these are. How many reviews are actually worth what they've wrote down? Movies may be different, but I mean that's how games are working out.
I'm just a huge proponent of separate the art from the artist. And like, if you don't like what Brie Larson's talking about, or what Chris Evans is talking about, or Chris Pratt for that matter, I know there's a lot of like liberal people that have a problem with how Chris Pratt lives his life and the way that he deals with that, because I think he's pretty spiritual, right? Like people like that's fine, but don't pan what they're doing, like the stuff they're in before you ever see it.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't like them, that's fine. Don't go watch it, but don't go on and like leave a review that you thought it was the worst movie of all time if you haven't seen it. And that's what a lot of these like arguments on the internet boil down to. It's so miserable.
I mean, if you do that, you're also hurting more than just that person.
Yeah, and they don't care. It's a single-minded crap.
I really miss the day when reviews mattered for anything, and it seems like anymore they don't. Reviews really don't matter much.
No, I mean, other than just an army of downvote bots get on there and start, spamming stuff.
Yeah, when I look at the audience scores on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm like, I literally think this is how people received it. I'm not going to base my view on an audience score. I'll look at a Rotten Tomatoes score, and if it's something I'm interested in, it doesn't matter what the score is.
Yeah.
If it's if I see a trailer and go, oh, I want to watch that, I don't look at a score and go, oh, I'm not watching that. I'll go, oh, let's see what's up with this movie. I'll watch it anyway.
It's like going back to that Sadako versus Kagako that I watched earlier. It's got like a Rotten Tomatoes score of like 20.
Yeah, but did you watch it as a piece of thought-provoking art, or did you watch it because you saw, this is going to be trash, but I want to watch some trash right now?
Yeah, I sat down and was like, I know this is going to be bad, but this is going to be, I'm going to grab some popcorn. This may be a good popcorn movie.
I get the point. I don't know if it's like right on thing, but yeah.
I want to point this out. I don't think the MCU will be as strong ever as it was with Endgame until we're a generation out, kind of like Star Wars had to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
it's a possibility.
Endgame did it for that, and it's like we're going to have to go through. But we got to see some wizards. We got to go through some zombies, some vampires, whatever the next stuff is, and then we can get back to it.
In the comics. So.
We got Blade coming. We got Mahershala Ali with Blade, supposedly going to bring in our Norman Reedus as Ghost Rider.
Yep.
Are we getting? I want some zombies back, or I want some vampires back.
Some Blade.
I just not Twilight.
Did you watch the Renfield?
Oh, I haven't.
Nick Cage and
it was good.
I need to.
That's one of my list. I really enjoyed it.
And then there's a new Nosferatu coming out.
Yeah, it's happening. Everybody come down.
Let's remake Nosferatu. And other people are gonna like pan that. Like, why are we remaking stuff? Nobody has anything original anymore. It's been like 100 years.
It's sad that I'm more excited for Nosferatu than the next Marvel movie.
Yeah.
No, that's.
I mean, my take on this, man. I think right now we're at a crossroads. Like, Marvel has to do something different. It's got to change up this kind of mass production, put out as much as possible stuff. Which, for people like me, that's great. I love that. I am not your everyday Joe Blow moviegoer. Right? Like, again, said it a million times. I got more pictures of Captain America in my house than I do my children. Whatever you put out, Marvel, I'm going to watch it. Marvel and Sony. We didn't even get in the Sonyverse. All the Venom movies, kids, like the Andrew Garfield Spider stuff, this Craven, whatever the hell that is that's coming up, that's Sony. That's not MCU.
Craven and Madame Web.
Oh, Morbius. Yeah, Morbius.
They pulling Andrew Garfield back into it?
I think the word on the street is Andrew Garfield's getting pulled back into that.
I love Spider-Man.
And there's also word that they might be mixing Tom Holland in there. There's been a lot of that stuff. So.
But I think Marvel have to do something different. They have to, I don't know, figure out. I'll tell you who's great right now. Benson and Moorhead are a director, or a directorial couple, a directorial duo who did they started in their MCU with some Moon Knight episodes. They did almost the entirety of Loki season 2, which Loki season 2 was amazing. If anybody hasn't watched Loki season 2, go watch that.
Season 1 was great.
Yeah, Loki season 2 is incredible. Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've not watched either.
But Benson and Moorhead, and they directed one of my favorite movies of all time, The Endless. They're phenomenal. They're absolutely great, and I think they're getting more involved. They're bringing more like talent like that into the MCU. So I'm hoping to see it branch out a little bit more like that. And then with Kang, this arc that we're getting now, Jonathan Majors is Kang. I know Jonathan Majors is having his own kind of domestic dispute problem or whatever. If it comes out as true, they'll book out. If it's not, whatever. But if they continue with that Kang, they need to lean into that, because Jonathan Majors is an amazing actor. Yeah. We'll see, how his personal issues pan out. but that's the new Thanos, right? Kang is our new Thanos.
Kang as a character,
really
if it did pan out to not be good, would be easily recast.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I mean, I would hate to see Jonathan Majors recast
he's got some pretty heavy allegations.
If those are true.
That separate the art from the artist stuff, right? Kind of. I mean, I can appreciate him being an actor, but if he did that and Marvel wanted to separate from him, I understand.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey,
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite actors. Man.
I escaped from Kevin Spacey's basement.
I know that stuff came out. I watched the news for like years. Honestly, after that came out, I was like, "Come on, please not be true." And then, like everything kept coming. I was like, "Hey, guys,
damn it, Kevin Spacey!"
Man, I love him. He's such a good actor, but God, dude,
yeah,
too much.
That's how I felt. There was a anime voice actor, Vic Mignogna. I loved him and everything he did, and then it came out, and he was like, I was like, oh,
maybe that'd be a good episode to talk about this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Separating the art from the artist, because that causes all sorts of nerdom.
I mean, we talk about HP. I talk about HP Lovecraft all the time.
Oh yeah, see that's
a huge separate the art from the artist.
That guy that done Rurouni Kenshin.
Oh my god. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about here. So Aaron, your final thoughts on the MCU? You think it's a train wreck?
No,
he has drawn a train wreck.
Our conversation is a train wreck.
Why? I thought we had a pretty good conversation.
No, we've been
derailed.
We've been all over the place.
I'm posting this on Facebook.
It's not that it was a bad conversation. It's we've not talked about hardly anything that we meant to talk about for the last 10 minutes.
We've covered every single mark on this list.
10 minutes. We've been all over the place.
10 minutes have been rough, but this we did.
We covered all your
points.
points.
So I agree with Cody. Like, I feel like they can come back, and it's not as strong as it used to be, but it can be. Like I said, it has ups and downs with it right now. They're all over the place with different directors, different movies. So I feel like they can still come back from it. They are stretching real thin between the Disney Plus and the movies, but I'm still enjoying it. I mean, I'm going and seeing the movies still. So
we're renting out a private theater, and we're bringing 20-some people to watch it.
Yeah, and we appreciate it.
Yeah,
we usually buy you popcorn.
We get enough,
which is just as much as movie tickets.
It'd be fun to do a movie night with the nerds one night. Rent it out, see about people to come.
Oh yeah,
podcast. That's how we get murdered.
21st people.
Do you want to murder Cody? Let me tell you how.
We'll talk through the entire movie for you.
Come listen to us talk through a movie.
We gotta sit up front and be like Mystery Science 3000.
So is this Murder Cody thing still on the table, or
we got a lot more episodes to film, buddy? You're contractually obligated.
That's
for
exactly
10 more movies and two Disney Plus shows. So,
I don't know if I got it in me.
And several cartoon voiceovers.
That's exactly where the murder will take place, on the table.
Yeah. All right, so we are at an hour and 45 minutes. I think we're going to bring it to a close here. I think all of us are kind of in agreement. Like it's still a thing. Like it's not dead.
It's not.
It's dying, but they got to do something.
Yeah,
something's got to change here. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was received really well, did super well.
Loved
Ant-Man and Thor, or Quantumania and Thor: Love and Thunder made a crap ton of money, whether or not we thought they were good movies.
Yeah.
The Marvels, better movie in my opinion than both of them, made nowhere close to as much money.
That's alarming. That's the alarming thing.
Yeah.
You got a better quality movie.
I think that had more to
crashed
do with the
review,
subject matter,
who
was in it,
which is really unfortunate.
But I mean, what are you gonna do? But anyway, so what did you think? What do you think of the conversation? What's your favorite MCU movie? What's your least favorite MCU movie or TV show? Who's your favorite comic character that you haven't seen yet that you hope gets a chance to be in there? That was on this list that we didn't even get a chance to talk about.
Tell me why I'm wrong on my takes.
Yeah,
why am I wrong?
Yeah, why am I a drooling fanboy?
Why do you hate Josh now?
Yeah. Let us know. And you can let us know one of two ways. One, you can contact us at hillshavenerds@gmail.com, or you can come on Facebook and search The Hills Have Nerds and find us there. Come on our Facebook. Come on our Facebook and talk to us.
Out of control.
Yeah, that's what we want you to do. Just come on our Facebook. Come on Aaron's Facebook.
Vicious evil.
I've killed Aaron. Just come on, just give it all to us. Come on our Facebook and let us know what you think about the MCU.
And leave us a good review.
And let us know what you thought. Give us a like, a subscribe, a 5-star reviews help people find us. Written reviews help people find us on whatever podcasting app or subscription service that you're listening to us on. Let us know what you think. We appreciate everybody who's listened to us, guys. We are very, very blessed to be able to sit in a room and say stupid crap into a microphone for a few hours, a month or every couple weeks. We're trying to do a little bit more content, and we appreciate everyone for sticking with us and supporting us as much as you have. And there's a little bit of news that's maybe in the pipeline. It's a little too early to talk about it right now, but maybe it may come out before this episode, maybe after. But we're working on some things. We got some fires in the iron. Anybody else have anything closing to say? Go check out Lee's YouTube at Pixel Bro Lee. He's on YouTube and Instagram and Twitch and Facebook. Come on Lee's Facebook. Come on Pixel Bro Lee's Facebook and check him out. Check him out on Twitch. Go watch his stuff. He has some absolutely incredible videos, and he puts a ton of passion and time into what he does. We're grateful to have him here and grateful to have Aaron and Cody and just sit around talking about stupid stuff.
Yeah, often these guys join in chat on Twitch and stuff too, so it'd be a good time to talk about.
Oh yeah.
It's like come in and talk to us about the podcast. I'd love to talk about.
Oh yeah. Stuff. And if there's something,
share your thoughts.
Yeah. If there's a topic you guys would like to hear us talk about in the future, let us know. We're open for everything. We're starting to do a longer schedule to get stuff out next month. Next month, our episode about cozy games is going to be coming out. We're going to talk, and we're going to have my wife joining us on that episode. Cozy games, Animal Crossing, Palia, Stardew Valley, stuff like that. So stay tuned and check us out in February for that one. Until then.